Hi, my name is Missy McDougall, and after participating in the Bold Speaker series as an active listener, I've been super inspired to share my own story of vulnerability. And when I think of a letter that describes this, it's L for learn. Life is one big learning university, and when we look at it that way, we can really walk away with a lot more than we could have anticipated from each lesson we get in life. And lessons come in all different forms, and as we all know, we mainly learn the most from the hardest ones. And this particular lesson came in the form of anxiety and depression, not with myself, it's actually through my husband. And experiencing that as the partner was extremely hard and was something I've never anticipated dealing with. My husband and I are both pretty amicable, happy, go-getter type of people, but it was a really big eye-opener for us. And it all started in the summer of 2019 in the beautiful island of Hawaii, where you think everything would be perfect in paradise, but something was just off with Matt and couldn't shake him from it. Fast forward, within 2 months, he lost 20 pounds. We took 3 visits to the ER in 3 consecutive weeks. All of this happening while I was in my first trimester of pregnancy, expecting our second daughter. Never a perfect time for any of this to happen, but it couldn't have been harder. On top of that, after the 3rd visit to the ER, my mom really became my lifeline. She really became my helper through all of this to help watch our first daughter, Mila, while I took Matt to the emergency room to support him. And after that 3rd time, my parents were getting ready to go on a 5-week trip to Europe. And this was to celebrate their 40th wedding anniversary and something they needed to do. But my mom, and myself being a mom, I can understand, was dragging her heels to go. She was really concerned about me and how I was handling the situation. I never so much feared someone asking me, "How are you?" Because I really didn't know how to answer. What did I want to say? How vulnerable did I want to be? I didn't even know what was going on. Each time Matt saw a doctor, he was told, "You're healthy. That's good news. This really seems stress related." But he couldn't accept that. He couldn't swallow it. And although I, on his end, was telling him, "This is good news. You're healthy. We can work through stress," he was crumbling. And before I knew it, my husband was completely broken down, and he wasn't the man I knew, in the sense that he was lost and I had to be the strength in our home. And when you're in the middle of a crisis, it's it's tears, not truth. You don't need to be told, "You'll learn something from this. Don't worry, everything will be okay." No, you just need to cry it out because it's hard and it sucks. That's just the real part of it. Each morning was a new day. Usually that's a positive perspective, but each morning through those 2 months, I woke up to my husband violently throwing up and not sleeping at night, which would make things worse and worse. Eventually, his mom flew in from Portland to help us. People reaching out, other soccer coaches wondering where he was, because for the first time, Matt wasn't at soccer tournaments. Matt wasn't on the soccer field. His life came to a complete stop because it needed to. I had people ask, "How are you?" And again, I didn't know how to answer. And my first instinct was to ask, what they can do for Matt. But they saw through that and said, "He has doctors. What do you need?" That was really powerful for me. And as we got through this experience together and supported one another, I'll never forget going to see my therapist on Labor Day. I'm driving to go see her, and I go, "Okay, God, my head's above water. We're just after about 2 months of this. What was I meant to get from this? I'm ready for my truth." And it hit me. I would have no idea how resilient I am had my back not been pushed against the wall, had I not had to be the provider for my family, for my daughter, for my unborn daughter, and for my husband. Wow. What an incredible truth to learn before having our second child.